Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Question: were there weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? It's not a trick question. Were there weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Every Russian schoolboy knows that answer is no, there were not. George Bush invaded a country, killed 1 million people. Nothing to show for it. Tortured in order to try to create a connection between Saddam Hussein and 9/11. He could not do so. In any normal world that had any level of justice, George Bush would be sitting in a prison right now, potentially even hung by The Hague. He's at home finger painting. The next Republican president, Donald Trump. Now you have, it's not Iraq, but it's North Korea. And once again, there are weapons of mass destruction in North Korea. And we must foment resentment against North Korea. We may have to even attack North Korea. We're sending battleships out there to piss off North Korea. And what has North Korea done? North Korea has essentially pushed back. They have also been belligerent. Two people being belligerent to one another. Two people that have access to military weaponry being belligerent to one another. The pretext for the Iraq war was weapons of mass destruction. The pretext that they're trying to use for this one is also weapons of mass destruction. That pretext just kind of fell away. This is anti-media, but I read this in a Newsweek. Newsweek broke this article, but anti-media is doing a coverage of it. President Donald Trump continued his blustery North Korea rhetoric on Friday, tweeting that the U.S. military was locked and loaded, and later telling reporters that Kim Jong-un had better not make any overt threats against the United States. This man would not get away with what he is doing. I don't know what he's doing. Trump told reporters from his golf club in New Jersey, adding, if Kim makes a move against the United States or its allies, he will truly regret it and regret it fast. He's a child. In the midst of the spike in tensions between the United States and the Hermit Kingdom, a team of independent rocket experts published a paper Friday asserting that North Korea's 2 July test firings of supposed intercontinental ballistic missiles were in fact a carefully choreographed deception by North Korea to create a false impression that country has missiles capable of reaching the continental United States. In other words, it was a hoax, as the experts explained to Newsweek. Now, this completely undercuts the narrative that Donald Trump was using to attack North Korea. I asked, were there weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Because I kind of make this point of, you need to be very careful with the things that the government comes out with as justifications for a war. Every government that has ever gone to war has always had a good reason for that government to go to war. Good reason that they gave, not necessarily in fact. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. There was no Gulf of Tonkin. Spain had nothing to do with the sinking of the Lusitania. You can go on and on. One case after the next, the government used as a pretext for war. Iraq was not that long ago. That didn't stop the newspapers from running the narrative of the government. Oh, they have weapons capable. Oh, they may hit the United States. Oh, they have nuclear weapons. We got to do something. We got to do something. We may have to attack North Korea. And you saw the newspaper people like, oh, we're going to get a war. We're going to get a war. I get to use my new screen. None of this stuff ever really affects us. So yes, we can attack other countries and murder other countries. It does great for the people who are essentially making those weapons, and it does awesome for the news because it puts asses in seats. It doesn't hurt them. It doesn't touch them at all. The media follows the narrative. The media just expels out what the government says, as if Iraq never took place, as if the Gulf of Tonkin never took place, as if there was no history. But just then and there, right then on the spot, what the government said, and the government is the word of God. They've contested Trump on each and everything that Trump has done. And they've called that man everything but a child of God. They've been on his ass about each and everything. Lawsuits and all. And the moment the opportunity comes up where he may attack another country, there are nuclear weapons over there. What are we going to do? The government says there's weapons over there. The government says they may attack us. The government says they have look at this missile test. The government says that this is dangerous, that they may hit Guam. We may just have to attack them. North Korea is behaving as if any other state will behave. If you have a situation where they've lost 20% of their population in the last war with the United States, and they full well believe that a nuclear weapon is the only thing that would keep them safe, they're going to try to get a nuclear weapon. If you go after him, meaning if you're talking junk to him, he has to respond in kind. Leaders cannot appear weak in regards to their particular governments. You tend to try to find a way for them people to save face so you can avoid a war. You don't necessarily come up with bluster, knowing full well that the other government is going to behave in kind. Look, the pretext for war, the point I'm making is, it's fallen away. It's fallen away. They don't have weapons that can hit us. North Korea is not a threat to us. If Donald Trump attacks North Korea, he's doing so purely because he himself wants to. It has nothing to do with us being under some kind of threat. I mean, what it boils down to is your brother, your sister, your mother, your cousin, maybe even you. Are you willing to go somewhere and kill and murder and possibly even die for a reality show host? Do you honestly believe that the reality show host who's trying to send off you, your mother, your cousin, your sister, your brother, somebody in your family, one of your loved ones, maybe even, again, you, who's trying to send you off to murder and kill those people, do you believe that he himself has the best interests of the country in mind? Were there weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? I'm just making this point that what your government says needs to be challenged. And unfortunately, the media is not the place that typically challenges it. Keep an eye on your government. If they're going to attack North Korea, they're going to do so for some other reason. They may use this as a pretext, but there is no there. In the same way there was no there for weapons of mass destruction, in the same there was no there for the Gulf of Tonkin, and in the same way there was no there for the sinking of the Lusitania. Governments always come up with reasons to attack other governments. Usually those reasons are bunk. The media, unfortunately, for the most part, totes the water. They're doing the same thing with this. Don't buy into it. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the work through Patreon. Thanks.